Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nerd Den here, and today I am going to be doing my review for episode 5 of Doctor Who Series 12, that is Fugitive of the Judoon. And I've already talked about a lot of the spoilers throughout various videos over the past couple of days since the episode aired, so they won't be talked about a lot in this episode review, but I will still try my best to do like an in-depth review. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the review. So, the review. Oh my days. This episode, it was simply, to put it in a nutshell, it was Chibnall's best episode he has ever written. And I do not say that lightly in the least. Like, hands down, it was absolutely fantastic. Even Jodie Whittaker, it's probably one of her best episodes. I'd say definitively her best episode. Because she absolutely smashed it. To be honest, they all did. I mean, the companions serve little to no use in this episode. That was fine, because we had a lot going on. We had the Judoon. We had the Fugitive. We had the Doctor. The Fugitive turned out to be another Doctor, but then we had a subplot that was Captain Jack. That was just like, what? What? Sorry, just what? After last seeing Captain Jack in Doctor Who, like 10 years ago, when the End of Time Part 2 aired, and then he had Miracle Day, that was 2011. He hasn't made an appearance in the Whoniverse for all that time. Yeah, he managed to do some big Finnish audios a couple years ago, and has done a little bit since then. We haven't seen him on TV for a very long time, so the fact that he just somehow just appeared out the blue was just like, oh my god. I was just so happy. And the subplot really integrated well with the whole episode, because yes, the whole reason why Captain Jack couldn't meet the Doctor was because of the Judoon interference and the fact that they had a force field up stopping people getting out of Gloucester. I absolutely loved that. And whilst I was really deep down disappointed that Captain Jack didn't get to meet the Doctor again and, you know, meet Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, I'm glad that we got to see him on screen again and get up to his usual tricks. So he stole a ship. The visuals in this episode were something else. Like, I'm going to be completely honest, I absolutely loved them. The CGI set pieces and seeing armies of Judoon invade Earth was absolutely fantastic. It really was. Like, the sets in themselves were brilliant. Using a cathedral for Captain Jack's ship was really well done, and I really liked that. And then there's one little ship that I enjoyed as well, and that's the TARDIS. But not Jodie Whittaker's TARDIS, Ruth's TARDIS. But who's Ruth? If you haven't watched all these videos I've been producing over the past couple days, she's the Doctor. And it looks like she's a form of past incarnation of the Doctor that is going to be hopefully explained by the end of the series, because honestly, it's really just bugging me. Not in terms of like a massive negative way, but I just want to know where she is in the timeline. But yeah, her TARDIS had a very classic feel to it that kind of does hint to where she is in the timeline. So she is around about the first 3 Doctors, roughly. She might be before Hartnell. She might be between Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee, we don't know yet. But anyway, yeah, her TARDIS interior was absolutely fantastic. The TARDIS exterior as well was very classic themed. So yeah, I absolutely loved that nod to classic Who. And Jo Martin, who is the actress who plays the new Doctor, was absolutely fantastic. She rocked it on screen. She was so good. And I love the costume she was wearing as well once she turned into the Doctor. It was like, it had parallels to Utopia, because obviously that Doctor that we saw in Fugitive of the Judoon was hiding under Chameleon Arc. And yeah, I guess Human Nature as well, I could say it's like that. But I'm going to think of Utopia. It's such a distinct character change from a nice tour guide who's living a normal life, and then boom, it's the Doctor. But then, like in Utopia, nice professor, bam, evil, it's the Master. And yeah, obviously human nature was like the whole thing with the Doctor hiding. But when I always think about the Chameleon arc, I think about Utopia, because that change always got to me. And that did, in this episode, but more of like, okay, we've got a new Doctor. But the way the Doctor went around in this episode was a very classic feel, and I really liked that. But Joe Martin's Doctor being around did really bring out the best in Jodie Whittaker's Doctor as well. You know, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor just was like, she was a visual representation of what I was watching those scenes, because I was like, how does this Doctor exist? And I still am now, but it's just, when I was rewatching this episode for the purposes of the review, I was just sat there like, what? I'm trying to, compensate, try and contemplate it. But honestly, I really loved it, and she did bring a lot of magic and spark to every scene she was in. And they both did, to be honest, because it's that whole thing. It was technically a multi-Doctor story in the last 10 minutes. And I really liked that. The whole dynamic between them both of them taking the mick out of their costumes and kind of having a little bit of conflict with each other was very good. Very good. And that's what I liked about Chibnall's script for this episode. And we did have another writer as well who did a fantastic job. But honestly, this was a very arc-heavy story, obviously with the Timeless Child and Gallifrey's destruction, that did kind of outweigh the stuff with the Judoon. But I guess the Judoon were brought in to be like part of the story arc. But I'm really excited to see where the series goes. As I've said, with every big moment in the series, it's just like going from one big mountain to another. It's really growing on me. Honestly, it's absolutely smashing it. And Series 12 is a big improvement from last year. And after this episode, personally, after watching it, as I said to multiple people, this is the best episode of Doctor Who I've watched in a while. Just because of, we've had plenty of twists, we've had a lot of jaw-dropping moments. Captain Jack's back. We've seen the classic TARDIS interior that, honestly, the way it looked, and I know we've seen it in Once Upon a Time and Hell's Bend, but in this episode especially, it looked really, really good. The lighting was very new, and it was like a kind of like a modern twist to a classic set, and that's what I always imagined a Doctor Who TARDIS to be if it was going to be faithful to the classic. And we got that with Jo Martin's Doctor. She really did well in that TARDIS, and it suited her and her costume very well. So yeah, in terms of negatives, I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see more Captain Jack, and I do feel like that was added in a little bit later on into the episode's production, but I can't be complaining, because when he was there, it was the tongue-in-cheek humour that Captain Jack and obviously John Barrowman is renowned for, and it was amazing. It was just electrifying, to say the least. And if there's anything else I could really say, I'm really trying to think. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see more of the Judoon's brutality as well. I thought the Judoon were a little bit underused, but I guess because obviously this episode was setting up a lot of the arc stuff, I feel like the episode could have been a little bit longer. But yeah, the companions were a little bit underused as well, but again, that's what we had, like a 50-minute episode that is, yeah, it's good, but we needed a little bit longer just to get all the details a little bit ironed out and maybe make uses of the other characters if they were actually needed. But honestly, it was the best episode of Doctor Who I've seen in a very long time, and I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, because I know there were some things that were like, okay, yeah, but they're really small, like things that I just, yeah, okay, they're kind of after rewatching it a couple times, it's like, okay, yeah. But the fact for most of the episode, I was just like, what? Just constantly grinning. That is what Doctor Who really means to me. A good Doctor Who episode is where you're constantly smiling, where you're like completely shocked at every turn, and it really is. And I am a little bit conflicted about, okay, Jo Martin's Doctor, not because of like, wait, we got another Doctor or anything, because yeah, I absolutely love the twist, but where is she set? And is this gonna retcon the Whoniverse? Like, what's going on? But I do hope that, you know, this twist and the ending, and obviously this Doctor being implemented into the show's legacy, it does it well. And if it is somehow before the first Doctor, and I know even including myself would be a little bit disheartened, because I always imagined William Hartnell's Doctor being the first Doctor, I do hope that it's done good. And even if it's put in between Patrick Troughton's or John Pertwee's Doctor, I just hope that it's done well. That's the only thing that I could say, really. I just hope that it's not, you know, something like, oh, she forgot. You know, there's got to be a good enough reason of why Jodie Whittaker does not remember that Doctor. Because obviously John Hurt's Doctor was the Doctor forcing that incarnation out of their memory just because they didn't want to remember what happened in the Time War. So I just hope, and I say this again, I just hope that it is done properly. We need a good solution to this big development. We need a big enough solution for this big twist. That is how we move forward with this big moment in the show. But yeah, I am very optimistic about Jo Martin's Doctor. I loved her TARDIS interior. I loved the costume, and yeah, the way she acted on the scenes and on set. I loved it. And honestly, I hope we see more of her very soon. But we will see. But yeah, I'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.